Hey friends, welcome back to another video. My name is Emma Lefebvre and today we are doing another bullet journal setup for the month of July. So let's jump right in and start. Okay friends, it is that time again, bullet journal for the month of July, which is a special month because it is my birthday month and I want to create a fun summer vibes kind of title page for this month, and I'm thinking a beach scene. So I took some watercolor paper and I cut it to the size of the page and I added a border with my painter's tape and I decided I'm going to paint a beach. I'm going to paint some water and then a sandy beach and like some little gouache people. So it's going to be kind of like a mixed media page. So I'm using my Paul Rubens watercolors for this. I've been really enjoying them lately. So that's what I'm using. I just laid down some water with my Princeton Select mop brush. And now I'm just adding some blues to kind of get the feeling I want for that ocean floor, not floor, just the ocean. And then I grabbed some yellow ochre for the sand. I hate doing voiceovers. They sound so weird, and I think I say this every time I do it. Anyway, I just kept building up that color because I wanted it to get darker. And to avoid streakiness, like you can kind of see the brush strokes, but to avoid it drying streaky, just make sure your paper's still wet. So when you're doing wet on wet, you want to make sure you have a nice light sheen, not pooling anywhere, not too dry in areas. And then as you see, I switched to my mop brush, which actually really helped avoid that streakiness. So by the way, my new brushes that are coming out is going to come with a mop brush, just saying. So if you don't have a mop brush, you can use the biggest brush that you have, but you might get a little bit of streakiness with that. So I'm just gradually building up that color, and then I took some clean water on my brush and I'm just adding little streaks of water to the ocean to create some kind of waves. This is not going to be a realistic ocean at all, obviously, but I wanted to create a little bit of texture and just difference in values. So just adding that water kind of pushes the pigment away and creates those light waves, and then I went back in with some darker blue underneath the white waves to create a shadow, and I really like the way it turned out. So this is a really fun and easy way to do it, and you'll see what I do after, because it's, like I said, it's not a realistic ocean, but it's really pretty for the title page and ended up turning out really well. So just add as many shadows as you need. If after it dries it turns out too light, you could always go over the whole thing again, re-wet the whole thing, and then build up the color that way. I don't end up doing that. I just keep building the color while it's wet. As you see, I added a little bit of the, I think it was Viridian green. What is it called? It is called, I don't know. It's like a Viridian green to it. And then just added some darker, I think it's like burnt umber or something, to the sand. So that's what I did for that. And then I let it completely dry. So once it finished drying, I decided to write the word July. And by the way, that whole other segment, the paper was wet the whole time, just so you know. I wrote July in pencil, and then I started to draw with pencil little people like playing in the sand, some laying on a towel, people kayaking in the ocean, someone scuba diving with some flippers on, just some easy little illustrations. And then I brought my gouache out. So I have my Hemi gouache here. And I just started with not the people, but like the paddle boards and the kayaks that they were on, and just tried to come up with some bright, fun colors. It's not too detailed, and they're really tiny illustrations. I actually found it a lot harder to do these tiny illustrations rather than like a mid-size one, just because you gotta be so careful. And I'm using my Craftimo brush for this, a small one. I can't remember what size it is. Maybe size 2, maybe smaller. Maybe it was a size 1. Size 1. And yeah, I just tried to keep the colors really vibrant and fun. So I usually add a bunch of white to my colors to make them nice. And the one thing you have to remember with gouache is that it dries darker. So anticipate that it's going to dry darker and lighten it with white if you want to go for a lighter color. And I just started doing different parts at the same time. So I wouldn't finish one little illustration all at the same time. So as you can see, I did like the pink kayak, and then I left the little body on there because I was going to come back, and then I'll do the skin, and then I'll let it dry. Then I'll do the little bit of hair, then I'll let it dry, and then I'll do like the little bit of the bathing suit and let it dry, because if it is all wet at the same time, it will bleed a little bit, and you want to make sure it's nice kind of crisp lines. So you let it dry, and then you can also layer on top. That's one thing that's great. I could have just done like a whole pink paddleboard and then gone on top with the skin color and the bathing suit and all that stuff, but I didn't. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I could have, because gouache is opaque. So yeah, that's basically what I did. So I'll let you watch this part a little bit, and then I'll come right back and tell you what I did next. So once I was done the majority of the gouache, I wanted to let it completely dry before I outlined it with my Micron Pigma black ink pen. So I did the title, I wrote July in my white Posca marker. And then I took some blue watercolor and I just did some shadows around some of the people and floaty things in the water, just to help give it a little bit more depth and dimension, which I really think added something to it. And then I did the same for the people on the sand with the yellow ochre color. And then I also added some shadow to the word July. I forgot to show it, but I also added some white streaks with my Posca marker to the waves where they're hitting the sand, just a few. So once that was done, I decided to outline all of my little illustrations with my Micron Pigma black ink pen in a size 01. Looking back, I don't know if I would have done it again. I kind of like the way it looked without the outline, but really it's a preference thing. I don't know. I think I liked the way it looked before, but this wasn't bad either. Then I decided to take my black Posca marker and go over the word July, so it has that little white outline as well as the little shadow in the water, but is mostly black. I don't know which way I liked it better, but I decided to do black. and I think it looked okay. And then I went on and did the little calendar for my title page, just did a little watercolor swoosh for the days of the week, and then took my Micron Pigma pen again and wrote in the dates. Then I took my new glue stick that I got from Stationery Pal, not my crusty one, and glued in the title page. Then I decided to put my video ideas page on the page right beside it. Usually I do like a separate little illustration or something, but I didn't have it in me. This title page actually took a lot longer than usual, so I didn't have it in me to do another one. So that's what that page is. And as you saw, I also added some washi tape that I also got from Stationery Pal to spruce up the page a little bit and frame it. Then lastly, I did my weekly spread out, same way I always do. I had no creative energy to come up with something new. It works for me, I like it, and I just kept with the color scheme that I used for the title page. I feel like these spreads are getting a little bit boring, but I'm just focusing mainly on like the title page of the month because those, in my opinion, are the most fun, and I enjoy being creative with those. I just don't have the patience or the time to go the extra mile for the rest of the bullet journal. I think I should keep it the same if it works. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? So just switched up the colors a little bit to make it fun, and that's about it. Here is the final layout. Thank you all so much for watching my video. I really hope you liked it and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and follow me on Instagram for even more. Have a great day, guys. Bye.